Welcome back to Haunted and Historic Australia for another episode in our Adventures series. In this episode, we take a look at Dural Uniting Cemetery. Enjoy.
Oh, got cut off then. I'm not sure where I got up to there, but I just found this one really interesting. It's a wall grave for an Eric Graham Semple, and it was only 1993, so not that long ago, but he was 45, and I'm not too sure if he's passed at war. I mean, 90s was it wasn't any of the major wars that we know of, the World War I and II, but there may have been a war going on in the 90s that he was a part of, or he may have died from some other reason, but he was part of the military, and he's got a very big memorial headstone to himself, so that's amazing. But yeah, I just thought I'd take some time and have a look at this one. I don't usually look at current graves, or more recent ones, which these ones here seem to be. But yeah, it was just a big one, and I was curious as to who it was for and what it was all about. So we've got Mitch is having a little look over which looks to be the oldest graves. Might have a little look through here myself, because that one looks really interesting. Here we've got broken graves here at the Dural Uniting Cemetery. What have we got here? Lillian May. And it's got a big crack in it, 2 cracks, and it's tumbled down. It's probably hit the deck and someone's lifted it back up. You can see with these older style ones, my great grandfather's one had these they're like letters that have been attached to the face, and they do come off. So unfortunately, they've probably lasted, what is that, 1915. Yeah, so it's lasted quite a while, but they're not going to last forever. But other ones, like this 1883 Jane Plumridge, looks like, hope you can see that. Yeah, looks as though hers are going quite well, except for the black that's gone through it. I don't know what that black is. It's quite interesting though. There's no trees, there's trees that surround. Perhaps they've taken trees out over time, but just, yeah. But have a look, and I noticed this the other day, that some of them, I don't know if they're sliding away, or is it that when they interred people, that they were doing it on angles, because it just doesn't look right to me. Or is it slipping over time? I mean, it looks like quite a large structure. You wouldn't think, I mean, just having a look here, I'm looking straight on at one of them, and the other one's kind of off. So I mean, is this slid? But then those ones are kind of parallel. I don't know, and then they've got them all up against, I don't know, the mind boggles. I don't know how they work this out. Oh, see, you know what, also, it could be vandalism. Yeah, they could have a bit of wear and tear, but that one there looks like it's been hit really hard with something. That's a shame. It's a real shame. Someone's like had to go at it with a hammer or something. I don't know. See, unfortunately, it's kind of secluded. I mean, people could come here at night and no one really watches. I mean, you'd hope there'd be cameras, or at least someone in a neighbouring home that may pay a bit of attention, but, you know, people just don't have any respect for the dead. They don't have respect for the dead, they don't have respect for, you know, anyone probably in their lives, because they're dirtbags. But Yeah, I just don't like that. I don't like that either. Well, let me just have a little look at this one here. This one must be a little older. Oh, it's just 1977, okay. But yeah, I just like the way that they've done a little checkerboard kind of look. So 1933 for Norquay family. It's quite interesting. And William Waddell Norquay, and if you look behind, we've got Francis Waddell. So Waddell family. Now I'll just zoom out again. Actually, we'll come down to this one here. Now I read something. I read something the other day about on Facebook, and it was. I'll just make sure that this isn't the right. This isn't the one. But I was just looking at historic sites on Facebook, because that's I just like to hear some stories that people have. And one fella says that he was visiting the grave of someone that obviously he knew and had a good rapport with before they died, and he went and visited their grave. And when he visited their grave, he must have got too close. I think he was mowing around the area of the grave for his friend who'd passed, and somehow he's ended up sinking a couple of feet down into the grave, or maybe not, obviously not into the coffin, but you know what I mean, like in the area where they've dug, the ground must have given way or eroded underneath, and he ended up into it. So it just freaked me out, because Jesus, I'm getting pretty close sometimes to try and get a good shot for you guys to see the names and stuff, especially some of these older ones. And just looking at this one here, sunken, just reminded me of the story. And it was one of these cemeteries around here too, so that also makes me feel a little nervy. So if there's any gaping holes or looks to be holes around, I have to be really careful that I don't end up, you just see what you'll see next is just the camera falling to the ground and probably me screaming. But it's just a bit freaky. So we've seen the Knight family. They've got quite a few people here. I'll just have a quick check this one. I just thought I heard someone calling out from the bushes. Well, that's a dog. McGinty. Oh, there's someone on a ride-on over there. It's yelling away, so we'll just ignore that. But some of these here, they don't have headstones, so I would assume that the church, which I couldn't quite yet find at the moment, the Uniting Church for Dural, doesn't seem to be around here. Not that I could see, but I'll try and look it up anyway and see if I can find any more information about maybe it was pulled down or something. But yeah, most of these churches have a list of all the people and their plots, and obviously Oz Cemeteries Index, they have that as well, so that's very handy. There's some nice graves back there, some newer ones too, so I'll have to be careful not to. But down here's where I want to go. I mean, some of these don't look too old because it looks like the grass is still. Let me just check that this wasn't the name of the fella that the guy fell in. Okay, it's not. So there's some down here that are quite interesting. And as I was saying before, it was like, it looks to be almost, they're obviously still using this area to inter people. So it's still a cemetery in progress. There's some rocks and stuff down there. I don't know what that's all about. I should go and investigate, but it's right. You know, this would be really freaky to do at night. I mean, I'll just walk up to the borderline of the grass here. It is thick. It is thick in there. So this would be a really crazy one to come and do at night. So it reminds me of that movie, The Village. You know how they like their borderline forest, and obviously for anyone who's watched, I won't spoil it, but the story goes that there's a village of people, and beyond the border where they're able to go are creatures in the woods, and these creatures will obviously kill you or whatever if you step into their area of the woods. And some of the teens kind of stand at the edge and they have their back to the woods and basically stand there as long as they can at night time, I guess provoking those they didn't speak of to come running at them, and then they just run because they knew that the creatures couldn't cross the border into the village's area, and they weren't supposed to cross into the woods. But anyway, for anyone who hasn't seen it, you've got to watch it. And I didn't elaborate too much because I don't want to give anything away. But it's a good movie. M. Night Shyamalan. Got a Jane Richards, Christopher Richards, 1870, it's like 1876, 1870s. So just quickly, this cemetery was established or ready for interments in the, I think it was 1865. I'll double check that. But around the 1860s, so about 10 years earlier than the Anglican cemetery that we went to. Leicester. They are still hard to read. But yeah, just looking at the border there, so distinctively woods and cemetery. It's quite interesting. But yeah, this was probably all kind of grown through, I don't know, they've been keeping it pretty good. I mean, it's still taking burials, so it's definitely been looked after, and hopefully watched so as that vandalism doesn't take place here. Look at that last token. It's interesting. Robert Towner. Hope you can see that. 1927. Aged 78 years. And then at the bottom it's got last token. I wonder if that's a family thing, like a, I don't know. My mind goes to arcade. That's me. But yeah, there's a van pulling up out there. There's someone in another car up there too. Okay, that's 1977. This one here I wanted to see. John. Just want to see. I don't want to step on it. Pedwood. John Petworth. I'm not sure. I can't read that, but I will definitely check into that. Aged 3 months. It's an interesting little headstone for a child there. And then we've got the Hunt family. John something Ward. Loving memory. So that one must have been a makeshift one. Someone may have put that there. I don't know. I can't read. I can't read it, but it could have been something that someone's made, because it looks like it's looks like it was drawn on Maybe it's really old. Maybe that one is really old and it's all kind of fallen. Unless it's been handmade at the time and they've put it in the ground for the little tyke. But yeah, I'll find a bit more information about that little cross. What have we got here? Arthur George Newland, maybe? Newland, yeah, Margaret Newland. Here we go. Arthur George Newland, DCMM. So there must have been late. I think it may be a war veteran. I don't know if it says battalion, late 5th Battalion, AII, Australian. I'll look that up anyway, and I might be wrong, but it looks like it may be a war grave. And it's got beloved husband of Margaret Newland and father of wee Peggy, must have been a young child, who was accidentally killed 17th of September 1922 in his 28th year. Oh, never shall thy memory fade, sweetest thoughts shall never. Oh, I can't read it. Round the spot where thou laid. Oh, sorry, I can't read that. Maybe you guys can see that a bit better than me. I'll just zoom in a bit. We've got flies about here. And that next one there's pretty unreadable. We've also got a couple of other Newlands as well in the area. Manton, Hunt, another Knight back there, Mary Ann Knight. I'll just go and have a look at Mary Ann Knight. 1940, so not too long. Those ones to the right of me directly are quite young graves, so young as in they've only just been interred. I think this one here there's a lot of holes down there, so I'd say it's an unmarked grave. I won't go that way, I'll come up this way, see if I can have a little look. Oh, there's Francis Waddle again. Maybe I got this one before, I can't. Is that another Waddle? James Waddle, okay. Centre it a little more. James Waddle. After that story, I'm really paranoid of falling into someone's grave. So here you can see, this is quite interesting. The ground must be moving, or people are just getting buried every which way. Sorry. It's just that one's going that way, this one's coming this way. Who have we got here? Amy, Edna, J. That's interesting. I'll see if I can zoom into that one. It's a nice one. Edna J. And we've also Henry John Cuthbert with a nice little ditty. Matilda Isabella and Henry Daniel. They must also be Oh, 22. Cuthbert. We've got more Waddle up here. I'll just get up there. Waddell. William Waddell. And there's some old ones back there. More Cuthbert and Beckett. 1870. I'll just zoom in for you. But we'll get up there in a moment. It's just, yeah, there's a lot to have a look at up here. So I might just go back down to where I was and have a look back down here at these guys. And if I missed that one there, I might have Knight. Oh, sorry. These ones are quite young. Oh, this one's been redone. We've got 1930. And the Manton family on the left must have been related because they've got similar sites. Now, did I check this one out? Who was this? Oh yes, that was Last Token. Now I'm just curious as to what's over here. William Smith McNell and Roma Isaacs. They're quite close together, so they may have been related. Considering there's so much other space, there's possibly unmarked graves in there, so we've got to be very careful. Lots of birds. Now that's an interesting tree back there. Just can't seem to read the dates on these. 1942, but I don't know about this red one. We've got some newer ones here. This one's interesting. Oh, there's a kookaburra. He's going to make some laughter soon, I'm sure. Who have we got back here? Peebles. And there's some rocky structure over, well, not structure, but something over there. I'm going to have a look, bugger it. I've got my shoes on. There's a fence. Let me zoom out a tad. There's a fence there, but there's also a concrete something or other. Broken trees. Someone's property's back there, so you wouldn't want to go too far. Cockatoos and singing birds. Yeah, it's like really interesting back there with all those sort of willy wagtails or something. Okay, I digress. Let's keep going. Mitch is up there doing his filming, or he might be on the phone now, so I might have to go up there. Who have we got? Heath Allen Van Middeldijk. Hiking with the Stars. Interesting. Kenneth Peebles. So are the Peebles of the Peebles family? Kathy Van Middeldijk. Doris Charlton E. Allen. Oh, sorry, 2002. Okay, so they're not that old, sorry. It just looks old. It took me quite by surprise. So 1976 would have been the oldest one, and they've just added to it by the looks. We've got another couple over here. Look at those beautiful checkerboards and tiles, sorry, not checkerboard, tiles. 1915, 1960, 1940. Who have we got up here? Rachel Small. Is it Rachel Small? And David Small. 1917 and 1935. So they're not as old as the ones that were back there. I'll find out who was the earliest as well. Hopefully we've captured them. There's a couple of other ones in there I'll have to catch as well before we leave. But I just wanted to get these ones against the fence. So some of these are actually newer. 1933. William. I don't want to get too close. 1893, so that's an old one too. William McLeod, maybe? Warwick? Maybe it's, I don't know, kind of like McLeod. Yeah, so that's someone's property there, so we don't want to get too close. Who have we got here? Mary Elizabeth Jackson, 1925. James Jackson. Kevin John Warwick. Excuse me. I'm getting too close to the trees. All these ones up here look old. I wonder if Mitch has already done them. Hopefully, because I've got to get back and do these ones over here. W.R. Hawkins, 1904. And Ruffley. I'll just go and check out the Ruffley family here. Okay, so they're quite young. 1897, that's not young. Archie Roy and May Ruffley. Wow. Whitfield, Whitfield, Eustace George, 1897, 1886. Oh, what a shame that that's come down. Now there's a whole heap of the Ruffley family over here. Hopefully Mitch has done them, because I must get back over there. I don't want to do somewhere that he's already done and not William Henry Thompson. Okay, so hopefully he's done the back there, and I'll come back. These ones are facing the other way. It's interesting. Williams. We've got George Hamilton Williams, a couple of others. It's just interesting that they're so close to the back of the others, and they're just like right on an angle. Annie Cuthbert, so the Cuthbert family here, and Green. Might just come through here quickly and get these ones that I missed before. On the back of these ones are the Cuthbert and Beckett, another Ruffley, Arthur Edwin, 1876. So these ones are quite old as well. Yeah. John Stanbury, 1887. Also got Blanche Hunt, aged 8 years. And this is the oldest, William Hunt. He died on the 9th of January 1865, aged 73 years. So he had a much longer life than Paul Blanche over here. I'll have to check and see if they were related. Oftentimes they're buried side by side, as we found with the Cuthbert family. But William Hunt here is the earliest buried. So may have been the base here has fallen over. William Hunt. Elizabeth Maria Cuthbert is the second to be interred, and her father and mother are buried in here, Stephen Cuthbert, and a mother Martha, but I can't see where Martha's actually written here, so unless they just didn't get around to putting her up on the headstone. But as you can see in this particular cemetery, there are many surnames spread around, many families who have all been buried together in this cemetery. Hawkins. Up the back there we've got a Hawkins, and some of the newspapers from the area actually have all of their names. And some of the ladies were running raffles and doing various different things to raise money. And the Hawkins, they may have been related to the Hawkins of the last cemetery, St Jude's, where Darcy was the earliest interred there. They only really, well, what I thought was that they had these big, tall ones if they were going to continue to keep writing people's names underneath. Because a lot of them did. As I said in the last video, they purchased plots that they were going to be having their whole family in. Hannah and Henry Cuthbert, Joseph Edward Cuthbert, Thomas Samuel Cuthbert, 1878. So they've got the big family of Cuthbert here. Apologies if I'm not pronouncing that right. It may be a silent S, it might be Cuthbert, or it might be a silent B, it could be Cuthbert, who knows. I'm sorry if I've got that wrong. Okay, we've got some of the Fagan family, but they're quite newish. Oh, there's someone walking over there, so Mobs. Now we saw a Mobs back there that might relate to the ones here. Mobs, 1913. Moulds. I've got Moulds up the back there, George Henry Moulds and Edgar G. S. Smold. S. Mould. Moulds. It's an interesting name. You don't really hear that as a surname, do you? And Westcott. Now, 1931, 1950. I'm just going to quickly run down, see how far I can get with the Ruffley family. Hopefully, Mitch has already done them. But if not, I'd like to see them. And there's a couple that go back in the back there. We've got Gilmore, Hitchcock, and the Ruffley family. There were a lot of Ruffley family here. Something's obviously happened over there. Something's come down. Not really sure what that is. Maybe a branch off this big gum tree has fallen. That might happen as well. Who's this over here? More Hunt family. Ruffley. Here we got Joseph, Lydia, James, Harriet Warner. James Ruffley here. Sorry, Harriet was at the back there. Marilyn. Nope. Mary. There's a couple there I can't read very well. Ellen at the back there. That just, I don't really know what that is. Is it supposed to be like a little seat for people to sit on? Or is it someone's made a bonfire out of it or something? I don't know. It's just bizarre. Then we have Harriet Warner. I can't read that. Percy Marion Brislard. And we've got some people up the back there. We did Whitfield. Myra Levita Williams. We've got Alechia. It's an interesting name. William Joseph Ruffley and Adelaide Grace. Adelaide. It's a nice name. Now there's some of the older ones up here. Hopefully Mitch has done all of those. But I just wanted to get over here because there's a couple of interesting ones here. Sarah Jane, Walter Amos and Joseph Ruffley. Oh, there's a lot of ants. Okay, we back away now. Now that we know there's ants, we back away. Under the jacaranda tree. Marnie and Fadi. Mother and father? Okay, so there's a couple people in there and they don't look too old. There's a couple there made out of some stones and Mitch is up there, so I'd say he's done all those ones at the back there. But just having a quick look over Dural uniting, and we've got some sheep bleating up there as well. It's a nice little cemetery, and hopefully we find the church that goes with it. Otherwise it's probably been demolished, so which often happens. But don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we hope you enjoyed this episode. And there's plenty more to come, and plenty more stories too. We're still working on William Bligh, and that'll be up soon too. Thanks for watching.
now. Hang on. Sorry. Pardon me. Let me tell you something, Jude.
peaceful. At night time it'd be eerie, but during the day it's quite peaceful with the cicadas making a racket. But that's the cemetery. We hope you enjoyed.
Aussie made.